we'd like to invite Mike Swanson up to talk about digital badges and the new opportunities. So, thank you, Mike.
Good morning. My name is Mike Swanson, and I'll be speaking to you today on the topic of open badges, which you may have heard of as digital badges, new credentials, and new opportunities. Excellent. Okay, historically, what are badges? We're often being used to identify the police and the military, so symbols of authority, and also as award systems within the military. Everybody knows, well, medals are badges. The scouting movement has used badges to motivate learning among their members for over 100 years. Also, brands. Almost every organization has a logo, a trademark. These are all badges. We recognize them. We're familiar with this system of identity. We often have badges ourselves identifying us individually. So what's the digital bit, the new bit? About 3 years ago, 2011, Mozilla and P2PU wrote a white paper for an open architecture of their a digital badging system. The open meaning, anyone can use it. It's not licensed, it's not patented. It's a system that anyone can use to create an award for anybody else. Digital natives, I've mentioned there, are already valuing badges. These people, I mean, by those who've grown up with the internet since around 1996. Nintendo issued badges as a reward system within their Pokemon game, and that's since 1996. They're quite familiar with that as a system. And Microsoft Xbox have a global, I've forgotten the word now, a scale that people can get themselves onto as a reward for their achievements within gaming systems. New credentials for a new technology. So we're looking at e-learning more and more. Why would we issue a paper certificate for electronic learning? Why would we adopt badges? I can't see my own notes now. An ICT steering group to the Welsh Government suggested that new credentials, new qualifications were needed to be worked on, developed between industry and education. Professor Ian Glover at Sheffield Hallam University, who did some research into badging in higher education, has suggested that universities will need to offer digital badges in order to recruit students in the future. Because if students are leaving further education or even secondary education, they already have badges from there, they're going to look for universities that are also offering digital badges. How are these badges used? Hopefully the laser pointer's working. Our learner proves competence to earn herself a badge, and it's stored in a backpack on the internet. There's a number of these backpack systems already out there and working. From there, they're distributed to blogs, personal web pages, CVs and resumes. And this is what a backpack looks like. This chap has earned 15 badges on the subject of digital badging, each of these representing an approximate 2,000 word written submission. So proper assignments, about 20,000 words there in total. Any stakeholder will be able to so an employer and university they're applying to, they're trying to get prior learning recognition for these. Their friends and colleagues they want to boast to. That's the whole purpose of these, the social aspect of them as well. So a stakeholder can left-click on any of these badges, opening the behind the badge view, which allows that stakeholder to click through to see the criteria list that earned that person the badge and the evidence they provided that to prove that they were competent to have it. There's also a link to the issuer. So you can always get back to validate exactly where that badge is coming from, the organization that issues it. So there's proof against fraud here built in to the badging system. Employers are often asking for these skills within a job advertisement, and we have to wonder, are our degrees delivering those skills, and can the employers see that evidence? My own degree doesn't have anything like that in its title or on the certificate, but I'd like to believe that I'm pretty good at all but one of them. Employers are also often asking for knowledge of this legislation. Again, do our degrees deliver learning to meet that legislation, and can employers see the evidence of that? We can badge all of these skills so that employers can directly see evidence and the criteria that the student proved to earn competency in those skills. The opportunities in digital badging, digital credential support e-learning. The awards can be designed by us in partnership with both our students and their future possible employers, and therefore hopefully improving the employability of those students, which increases our recruitment eventually. We can recruit globally because it's a digital badge. It works on the internet, and therefore we're not restricted to our local learners. It's specifically supporting electronic learning. And hopefully, early adopters will secure a market share. If we're first to provide a badge in a particular area that leads to employment, then learners who seek that employment will come to us to earn that badge. Bit of facts and figures. The only relevant one really here that I want to talk about is that Badge the UK, an organisation promoting badging within primary schools throughout the United Kingdom, in February 2014, they issued 23,000 badges to 50,000 badges to 23,000 students. So that's 23,000 students that we should be able to recruit if we recognise the learning of their badges and we're offering further badge opportunities to them. Question time. Thank you. Well, if anybody wants to earn a badge themselves, I've got a handout with a little link, and it's begin my poster there, where you can get online and earn yourselves a badge fairly rapidly if you'd like one.
Any questions for Mike? Yes, Liz.
Hi Mike, Liz Parcell from JISC. Great to hear your talk at last. It's taken me a while to get around to hearing you. I wondered if you'd had a chance to talk to any of Trinity's employers about whether they understand open badges and what they would think of them if a student took an open badge to them in a job application.
I've made a tentative approach towards the local CIPD membership group to speak to HR people within employment. I haven't yet been able to do so.
Do you have any sense of this about how employers view these?
I'm not an expert in open badges. JISC as a whole is looking at open badges with great interest, and in particular in Scotland, where they've done a lot of early work on open badges. I think some employment sectors are further ahead than others. I think the IT industry is clearly more tuned in. I think it will be hard to convince some other employers who don't fully understand students' digital behaviour yet anyway, so there's quite a lot of work to do, and so I think making partnerships with employers early on in the discussion is a very good idea.
Yes, sorry, because you mentioned essentially accreditation, and is there any chance, any planning at all, or any discussion, or even rumours about UCAS recognizing these things?
Nothing that I'm aware of.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Well, not good per se, but at least I haven't, and when you mentioned that this is something that employers can use to see that X type of employability skill has been covered in a type of degree, right? Are we double awarding then?
Well, effectively, I suppose you might be, but we already have modules leading towards a degree.
Yeah.
It's not a big step to badge those modules either.
Is there something in the system, right, in the badging system, that can say this badge has been awarded for work of this type, but cannot be, for example, considered as evidence of prior learning, right, for a different degree scheme?
I think the whole point of the badges is they recognise competency. So the student or learner, whatever learner, demonstrates competency and they earn the badge as to evidence that competency. So you wouldn't be in a position to say proves this but not that. You're only saying they are competent to meet that criteria.
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.